Hi everyone, welcome to this IMD. I'm Liam Oliffe, Democratic Services. Making the decision today will be Councillor Rachel Bishop-Burr, who is the Executive Member for Resident Services, Inclusion and Fighting Poverty. I'll now pass over to Glyn, who is going to present the report.
Thank you, Rachel, for joining us today to consider this procurement. So essentially what we're asking you to consider and sign off on is the procurement of the council's social care system. So this is a system that's used by adults and children's services. It underpins the digital delivery of their service, and they completely rely on it. So not having a system isn't an option. The proposal that we're asking is that we agree a 5-year deal with a company called Access Group, who provide a system called Mosaic, and we're proposing to procure through a framework which is the YPO Software Application Solutions Framework on lot 1095. I'll talk a little bit through how we've kind of got to this decision, but some of the financial information is commercially sensitive, so for that reason we've put it as part 2, but we can talk through that a little bit more. So in terms of the system, it aligns with our corporate priorities, so it aligns to enriching lives, safe and stronger community, so it really underpins our council policies and priorities. As I've said, it's a crucial bit of software used by adults and children's. They can't live without it, and our residents kind of benefit from a safeguarding point of view as well. The procurement of the system also aligns with our digital and technology strategy, which runs through to 2026. So it's making use of a well-known system, and there's no kind of sort of security risks with the system and this procurement. Therefore, from an IT point of view, we're fully supportive of it. The reason why we're going into a 5-year contract, or proposing to go into a 5-year contract, really is to make sure we have assurance around our costs. So as part of our negotiation with the supplier, we've agreed a fixed percentage rate on inflation, which we feel is well below the predicted inflation rate moving forward. That we've agreed that, but it's commercially sensitive, so it's been put as part 2 information. The 5-year contract also gives us access to customer portals, so we can further improve the digital resident experience. Also, it enables us to integrate with other line of business systems, so like our finance system. And as I said, again, it underpins our frontline workers' day-to-day jobs. So if there's no social care system, they really would be kind of struggling to kind of work as officers for the council. In terms of our engagement through this, so we've engaged with the Deputy Chief Exec Monitoring Officer and lead members for adults, children's, and yourself as our lead member for our area. That pretty much kind of summarises the paper. I invite you to ask any questions at all on the process.
Super. So thank you very much. And I've got the part 2 here, and obviously we had a meeting a week or so ago with Prue Bray as the Executive Member for Children's Services in attendance, and we went through that in some detail. So thank you very much. This is obviously a really critical system for the council and for many of our residents, including our most vulnerable residents. Can you talk me through the steps that we have taken to make that decision?
Yeah.
The framework that was used to make sure that we're making the right decision for the longer term.
Okay, just give me a couple of minutes. I just need to think through. So it's the steps that you took. Okay. Yeah. Right, so internally we have internal kind of governance. So before we kind of buy anything over a certain value, we have to take it through our strategic procurement board. So before we've even got to this point, we've taken through the different kind of options appraisal, which you've seen in the part 2 information. We're buying through a framework, so it means we've kind of got a benchmark price that's been agreed long in advance, which we've been able to kind of negotiate on. So that is the maximum price that we can pay.
And that's a government framework?
It's agreed, yeah, legally. So the contract is all kind of like done and dusted for us. It's kind of an off-the-shelf kind of framework agreement. And that kind of like gives us protection as a council and a surety around the product we're buying. We also have kind of, obviously looked at the kind of the market as part of our engagement, and looked at kind of what else is out there, because framework prices are publicly available. So we kind of got benchmarking through that route as well. And we've kind of done some quite robust negotiations with Access Group to give us the best possible deal, which was outlined in the Part 2 options appraisal. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And then I think the other question that I had, and actually you've answered a lot of it
okay.
in that answer, is what steps have we taken to get the best possible value for residents? And I appreciate you've already given me a lot of the answer.
Yeah, I suppose one thing I would add to that is, because we had 2 separate contracts for one of our portals with this company, we've amalgamated that into a single contract. So that kind of gives us greater efficiency with administration, and that portal's being implemented for the benefit of our residents, so that they can kind of do things in an online nature rather than kind of through traditional paper pen sort of method.
Yes, because I know that's the way that the council is looking to go.
Absolutely.
You know, preserving in-person access for those people who need it,
yeah.
But where it's much more convenient for most of our residents, and also a lot cheaper for the council, yeah. Isn't it, to try and offer that online?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of information in the Part 2.
Yeah.
We've gone through it already, so I think I don't have any more questions. That looks like a really good piece of work that the team have done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just read out the recommendation. So, Executive Member for Resident Services Inclusion and Fighting Policy agrees with the procurement business case set out within the Part 2 documentation to direct award a 5-year contract to Access Group for the Mosaic via the Procurement Compliant Framework YPO Software Application Solutions 1095. Are you happy to sign that?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Fine.
Thank you, Rachel.
Sign it. Just sign the middle line.
So thank you very much to the work of your teams, and that's obviously been a lot of thought put into that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's an important system. Yeah, that does a really important thing for the residents and the service areas.
Great. So, subject to the 5-day call-in period, this decision can be made official. And thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.